What if the threat isn't coming for us, but from us? The cosmos was filled with the music of the spheres.
This is launch control. We're at T-minus 30 seconds and continuing on now. Continuing on at the T-minus 26-second mark, T-minus 25. We'll get a final guidance release at the T-minus 17-second mark. T-minus 17, final guidance release.
Except for one dark corner of the universe, the silent planet.
10, 9, 8, 7, ignition sequence started. All engines are started. We have ignition. 2, 1, 0. We have a liftoff.
Out of the silent planet came voyagers seeking the music of the spheres. But this world too fell silent. The voyagers could not escape the silence. voyagers from the silent planet could never escape the silence. Escape the silence. For they were deaf.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our virtual open house for the University High School Band. My name is John Brown. I'm the Director of Bands. This is going to be my 12th year at University High School, and man, this program has changed a lot in those 12 years. It's gone from, we've just gone through a school split. East River opened. We had a band program of just over 100, and the program has grown and expanded. We offer a whole lot more. We've accomplished so much, and we're going to get to talk about all of that tonight and introduce you to our program. Joining us tonight, we have some of our caption heads and band directors. So I'm going to start with Mr. Jeff Willis, who is our Associate Director of Bands, and we'll let him say hi and introduce himself.
Hey, everybody. I'm Mr. Willis. I teach some of the wind programs as well as the percussion program and one of the jazz bands. I've been at university for 5 years, going into my 6th year, and really looking forward to that. We've got a great program put together for you guys. I think you're going to be really excited to be a part of this.
Cool. Also with us is the Director of Bands at Legacy Middle School and a university alum, Mr. Aaron McGarvey.
Al, as Mr. Brown said, I'm Aaron McGarvey. I'm the Director of Bands and Orchestras over at Legacy Middle School. I'm also a graduate of the University High School Band Program, class of 2010. And this is my 4th year back now being on staff running the horn line, so all of the brass and woodwind music instruction. We have a great staff, and the wind book is going to be very, very exciting, so I hope you're very excited to see that later.
Cool. Our color guard caption head is Sabine Francois, and she's joining us tonight too.
Hey guys, my name is Sabine Francois, like John mentioned as well. I have been with university since 2018, and I'm going on my 3rd year, actually going on my 4th year, which is super exciting. This program has grown immensely, and I'm so excited to have all new members and welcoming everybody in on board.
Yep. Our visual caption head is Mr. Eric Guzman.
Hey guys, my name's Eric, as Mr. Brown just said. This will be my going on 3rd year with University High School. I actually went to school with Mr. John Brown here back in the day, and I'm glad to be part of the team, and we're doing really great things.
Yeah, that was a very long time ago. And last but not least is our local wizard, Mr. John Marsden.
Hey guys, thank you, Mr. Brown. So what do? If it comes out of a speaker or emanates from a keyboard, I'm responsible for that, and I have a great tank crew. The tank is what we affectionately call the keyboard rig, and this will be my 8th year, I believe, coming up as a band dad. 2 kids, gone through 2 kids in the program, and having a really cool time, and looking forward to this year's show. Thanks.
And I know it probably feels more like all 175 of them are yours most of the time.
Some days.
All right, so the band program at university, we have an awful lot to offer. We're just going to talk about some of the actual classes that we teach during the day. We have 3 concert ensembles. three levels: the concert band, which I direct, the symphonic band, which is Mr. Willis's group, and the wind ensemble, which is our top group. Students audition for the symphonic band and the wind ensemble. Anybody's open to join the concert band, but all three of those groups very successful, give multiple concerts throughout the year. We also have two jazz bands. We have an introductory jazz band for people who are wanting to try out jazz for the first time or maybe have a little bit of experience. And then we have our advanced group, which is the UHS Big Band. And both of those groups, again, very successful, great sounding groups. The Big Band especially, you're going to see them perform all over the place. They perform at Epcot. They've performed for the OCPS superintendent. They give all kinds of concerts for different things. And Mr. Willis, you want to talk about our steel drums and percussion program?
Sure. Yeah, we have two steel drum ensembles, and these are very unique. I don't think there's many other schools, at least in Orange County, that have steel drum ensembles. And those two classes are open basically to any music student in the school, but there are a limited number of spots. But we take people in steel drum with zero experience. Nobody knows how to play steel drum because most of us aren't growing up playing steel drums, including myself as a percussionist. So I play a little steel drums now, of course, but when I started, I had never touched a steel pan either. So it's really open to anyone. We had a number of students this year, and new students to the steel drum program in our second period, and usually the first two periods of the day. And then we also have three percussion ensemble classes, an introductory percussion ensemble, or a beginning percussion ensemble, an intermediate, and an advanced. And those really allow us, thanks to our awesome administration, they really allow us to separate those classes in ability level so that students can really get much more of an individualized attention.
Yeah, and I think the unique thing about our percussion program, a lot of schools, you'll see the percussionists thrown in with the concert bands, or you'll see one percussion class where all the levels are thrown together. But we've got pretty small class sizes. Mr. Willis is able to give them a lot of one-on-one attention. And I know he doesn't want to brag, but our percussion program is definitely one of the premier ones in the state. He's brought these guys to the National Percussion Festival in Indianapolis a couple years ago. They are the defending state champions for the marching percussion 2 years in a row. So he's done a really fantastic job, and we have a very great program for that line of things.
A huge accomplishment in our percussion program this year was the first in a number of years of the percussion section competing in the Florida Federation of Color Guard Circuit Indoor Percussion, as well as WGI. We had planned, of course, to go to WGI World Championships in Dayton, and instead we got to end our season on a very high note where the students had finished their show and had gotten so many things in the show and accomplished. And so if life would have continued as normal, we would have had another month to really perfect the show. But I think what an incredible job these students have done. So here is our 2020 percussion show, Into the Horizon.
University High School.
Morning arrives. The water is silent no more. Life's first sounds greet the day.
All right, Sabine, do you want to talk a little bit about the color guard and the winter guard?
Yeah, absolutely. This color guard has been fantastic. They've grown over the past few years. If you don't know anything about color guard, I'm going to take a second to show you guys a video that one of our students put together, and it came out fantastic. And here it is. Here are some accomplishments that we've had throughout the past few years that we've been with the Color Guard. In 2018, we went to FMBC States. The Color Guard got third place then, which was absolutely amazing for our first year of joining that program and, turning things around, which was pretty awesome. In 2019, we were regional champions, FSCC Scholastic A bronze medalists. They were WGI regional finalists and Power regional finalists, which is a big deal. Also in 2019, we brought the team over to Dayton, Ohio, where they were able to experience World Championship for the first time in quite some time. And it was a brand new group of kids that we got to travel with and give them that exposure. So if you're really looking into traveling and being part of a team, that's an exciting feature that we also have for the winter season. And then this past year, they were the regional champion, and they were also a WGI regional finalist in Tampa. And on the last show that they had performed at Autovito, they were first place in a class, which is an amazing feature. It's a great group of kids. They're very loving. It's a fun team and fun atmosphere. We work hard, but they also get to reap those rewards and the benefits at the end as well and enjoy them.
If you're not familiar with it, I just want to clarify, you're going to hear a bunch of acronyms, and those are some of the different organizations that our band program works with. FBA is the Florida Bandmasters Association. Most of the instrumental music educators in Florida are part of that. FMBC is the Florida Marching Band Coalition, or Florida Marching Band Championships. They change the name once in a while. But that's the circuit that does most of our marching band competitions throughout the state. BOA is Bands of America. They do the same thing, but across the country. And then for Indoor Percussion and Winter Guard, you can hear FFCC, which is the Florida Federation of Color Guard Circuits, and the WGI, which is Winter Guard International. And so all these are just different organizations that our band program has a relationship with, and we've been attending their events for many years. And they create some really great experiences for the kids, and so we love attending their events. So you hear a lot about that. A couple other things that our program has to offer. We have 2 magnet programs that allow students to kind of take their education to a higher level. Also allows you to come to university if you're not zoned for university. The first is our International Baccalaureate program. I went through that. Aaron went through that. And as far as band goes, we have an IB music class, and the kids get to compose their own music. They get to see music from all kinds of different cultures and around the world, music history. So that's a really cool class to be a part of. And then we also have our brand new Performing Arts Magnet program, and that allows students to take multiple ensembles, a whole lot of performing opportunities. They get to go through kind of a 4-year program as if they were a college music major. So they do auditions and juries, and it gets them prepared to continue in the arts once they're out of high school. And then beyond all that, there's tons of just individual opportunities for all of our students. We got solo and ensemble festivals. We have all kinds of honor bands. You can perform at the spring musical in the second semester. This last year, we had the Indoor Percussion Ensemble that was open to students throughout our program. So all kinds of individual things come up from year to year. The big one we're going to talk about for the next little bit is the marching band. So Eric, why don't you take us through kind of this last season and talk about that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks, John. The marching band program has accomplished so much over this past year. The first show we went to, the FMBC, or Florida Masters Band Coalition or Championship, that John has said, the Colonial Regional show that we went to, many accolades from Best Visual, Best General Effect, Best Percussion, Best Color Guard for a class champion, overall general effect. That all goes into the marching band program. And that was just one show. We were a finalist at the Bands of America Regional. How long was that, John, since the school's been a finalist, or was that the first time?
At a BOA regional? Never. That was the first time.
Very first time we were BOA finalists. Superior ratings at the FBA Marching MPA. Aaron, do you want to go ahead and talk about the last 2?
Yeah, so the next show after that, we went to the FMBC Braden River Regional, and we swept house. We best percussion, best music, best visual, best general effect. We were Class 4A, which is the class we were in champion, and we were also the show overall grand champion. And then we went to the FNBC state championships, and we won best percussion, best visual, and best general effect in 4A. We also were first place in prelims in 4A. And then when we went and performed in finals, we ended up winning music at finals and then coming in second overall in our class in the state, which was a huge accomplishment because the last time the university band had made finals was the year before my freshman year in 2005.
Yeah, it had been a decade and a half.
It had been a long time. So it was a great season with a lot of accolades, and a lot of growth for the program.
And
a lot of hard work.
That our showing at finals this last year definitely flew past our showing back in 2005. So it was just a great year, the culmination of a lot of really hard work, and they say blood, sweat, and tears from all of our students. And we talk about all of these accolades and trophies, and you win this and that, but really what it is just the experience of it. I would say I don't care about competitions, or about competition, but I really like competitions. There's just this energy. You see the students, they've got a goal to strive for, and it's so much fun. The bonding, they form friendships, and there's really nothing good that can replace it. Then even in the spring, after marching band season ended, our students were very, very successful in the honor bands, all county, all state, state. Our wind ensemble and our symphonic band, both, I think, is that for the second year in a row, Mr. Willis?
I believe so, yes.
Rated superior. If they hadn't canceled the state level MPA, both groups would have gone to that. Our big band and the marching band were also rated superior ensembles. That's the highest rating FBA gives to a school. So definitely this is turned into a premier organization. The Winter Guard was a WGI finalist and a regional champion.
Yeah.
We fielded an Indoor Percussion ensemble as well. WGI finalist and a WGI class champion. University is also just kind of the hub for a whole bunch of different performing events. We hosted 7 different events. We had over 15,000 people on our campus this last year. So, in a lot of different ways, when people think about the performing arts in Central Florida, University High School is the place to be. Anybody got any just final comments about that before we move on?
It's been an awesome year.
Very good year.
Yeah, very bright future ahead. Very bright future.
Another one. All right, now I know everybody's worried about this coronavirus and the consequences. So right off the bat, I want to say, I know a lot of people might be thinking, well, are we even going to have a band next year? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
No matter what happens, this program is going to be active, and you're going to want to be a part of it. Right now, we have heard no changes of plans as far as next year. So as far as we know, we are still having band camp. We are still having a normal fall season. OCPS has not made any announcements about any of that. And as everybody knows, the state is starting to open up slowly, more slowly in some places than others. But right now we're planning for a normal year. Now, I do want to reassure everybody that this team has met, and we've done some extensive contingency planning. We went through a whole bunch of different scenarios. What are we going to do if they cancel band camp? What are we going to do if they cancel the football games? What are they going to do if they, so we have thought as many different scenarios as we can and come up with plans for them. And really, no matter what happens, I can go ahead and tell you, like, we have a plan for you. And it's not just going to be, okay, well, let's just sort of take it easy. It's going to be some really cool stuff that we'll be able to do. So I'm not going to go into all the details of Plan B, Plan C, Plan D, but I do want to assure everybody that UHS Band will be here and you will want to be part of it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next we're going to go up to the, this is the show reveal. We're already there.
And now.
Okay. So our 2020 program is going to be called The Glass Cage. That is based on a or the title is taken from a book by Stephen Barr about how technology is changing our lives. And so it's not really just praising technology, but neither is it just warning about technology. It's a balanced look at all the incredible things that technology can do and how it's completely surrounded us and in a lot of ways made life easier, but also about some of the dangers of it and how in some ways it's detracted from our quality of life and it can distract us, and some of the things that we used to be able to do, we can't do without our devices anymore. And so it's a really interesting concept. I think everybody's going to be able to relate to the message of it. And we have some interesting ways of presenting that idea. And that starts with some really cool source music. So Aaron, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, the selection of source music this year, I think part of the success from last year's show was the selection of music for the entirety of the show. And I think this year's music selection is even better than last year's. So the pre-show and beginning of the show will be coming from the piece Son of Flynn from the Tron Legacy soundtrack by Daft Punk, which leads into the opener starting with the piece Attraction by Emmanuel Sejourné. Which is originally marimba solo. That'll be an extended woodwind feature, which leads into ending the opener, movement 1, with Tower of Power's What Is Hip. The second movement then starts with Tigran Hamasyan's The Grid, followed by the theme from the Terminator movies. That'll round out movement 2, going into movement 3, which is the ballad, which will be Imogen Heap's Hide and Seek. The fourth movement starts with another piece from the Terminator movies. It's the Tunnel Chase, which will be a cool tuba, baritone, low brass feature, leading into some more full ensemble stuff. Yeah. Followed by ending the show off with Stephen Bryant's Ecstatic Waters.
And if most or none of that music is familiar to you, you're going to hear it in just a second, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be pretty excited about it. John and Jeff, can you guys just kind of talk about the design process and what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks and share that with everybody?
I'll start. Yeah, I first of all, the design process this year has been a little bit different for us. Usually we have the horn charts written, and then I go in and write all the percussion parts, and then John Martin will go in and add his flair with the electronic design. And this year we kind of flipped the last two, where he did a lot of the electronic design after the horn charts had been written. And then I kind of been sort of the last piece of the puzzle. And it's just really been fun. And actually, I think we found it more efficient. And it's just really going to be cool. I've had a great time putting the percussion parts together, as I usually do. It's one of the funnest parts of my year. And yeah, we got lots of notes, lots of things to be excited about for the percussionists as well. It should be a really, really fun year once again for us. We're planning to rock it out. Mr. Martin.
It's great when you get to work with quality, source music as well. Yeah. And a show like this allows me to really expand the sonic palette that we can do artificially. And, when you have a group of kids like we do, such a talented young group of musicians, some of these kids, they stun me at how good they are. And, when you put that together, with a great solid arrangement that y'all have put together, this is going to be a cool year. It's going to be a cool year. I can't wait to hear it all come together.
So, we actually have basically a computer rendering of the horn line parts, the electronics, and most of the battery parts, and I think a good chunk of the front ensemble too, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to go ahead and you know what? I gotta throw credit out there as well. The show logo that you saw just a minute ago, that was done by Emma Permensky, who is one of our clarinet players in the band, who's also just a very talented graphic designer, and so she agreed to do some artwork for us. So, but okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut to the computer-generated recording of the show so far that everybody can have a listen, and then we'll just sort of explain kind of the outline of the show and where we're going with it.
I think the big picture is that it's better to be born today than ever, and it'll be better to be born 20 years from now than today.
We've arranged a society based on science and technology in which nobody understands anything about science and technology. And this combustible mixture of ignorance and power, sooner or later, is going to blow up in our faces.
I have exposure to the most cutting edge AI, and I think people should be really concerned about it.
Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything.
We live in the digital age. Devices surround us to make our lives easier. Our devices let us do things we could have never imagined just a decade ago. But these devices can have a dark side. The more control they give us, the more they control us. Devices meant to connect us can instead leave you feeling isolated and banned. Really? But why make life easier if we forget why we're alive?
Where are we? What the hell is going on?
Or will our desire to stay plugged in turn us into little more than devices ourselves? Could we become trapped inside our own glass cages? And then, if the plug were pulled, what would be left of us?
All right, cool. So hopefully everybody is excited to have that first taste of it. Basically, what's happening is the show's in 4 parts. It starts with how cool and vibrant a part of our lives technology is. That's why we kind of went with the "what is hip" angle. It's a very cool time to be alive. The second part, as you heard in the voiceovers, is a little bit of a warning because there are dark sides to technology as well. The third part, which is the ballad, is just sort of that last chance to remember what makes us human, to remember about interpersonal connections. And I know as we're all in the quarantine, I think we've probably got a bit of a new perspective on how important human interaction is. And then the fourth movement is kind of that warning call of, what happens if you get sucked into that glass cage of your device. I know I got mine right here, and probably 24 hours a day I could just reach out and grab it. And so we're talking about some really cool ways to do that visually. I don't want to give too much of that away, as that's all kind of still in the development process. But it's going to be a really cool show with a very relatable message, some awesome music, and we have such a fantastic and talented group of kids and a great staff, and I just know great things are going to be happening here in the fall. So that's all really exciting. Anybody else want to just kind of make any comments about what we put together?
No, absolutely. Based off what you saw last year's marching show with Out of the Silent Planet, a movement, a lot of stationary movement, a lot of back and forth, I can be assured that there's going to be a lot of that, maybe at a higher level. So I'm very, very excited for these newcomers and new people, new students to be a part of that.
And on the Hornline side, we're revamping the warm-up packet so that it's a little bit more streamlined and a little bit more goal-oriented on making sure the stuff in the show really, really pops. So I hope you're ready to get a lot of work done, because it's going to be great.
All right, so we're going to take a look at our tentative schedule for the fall. You'll see there is our football schedule with those performances. A few of our performance dates are already locked in. It's the BOA Regional, the FBA Marching MPA, which we are hosting once again, and the FMBC State Championships, which again are going to be in Daytona Beach this year at the Daytona Municipal Stadium. which is actually a really good stadium to perform in now that we know to make our props less than 15 feet wide.
That was fun.
Ask a vet, they'll tell you.
That was fun.
There are 2 shows that we're going to do. We're going to do at least one more FMBC regional, and then we always host the University Classic, which is itself an FMBC regional. But we are not sure about the dates of those yet, so those will be figured out soon. All right, we got to put out the call for kind volunteers. Okay, what we do here in this program, Mr. Willis and I and our staff, we would not be able to put together the product that we do and give the kids the experiences that we do without parent help and support. That's absolutely essential. And we need that support in a number of different areas. Anytime we travel or have a big event, we need chaperones. The band runs our concession stand at all of the varsity and junior varsity football games. You might think, well, what does that have to do with band? Well, since the band actually has the capability of running that concession stand, the proceeds from the concession stand go back to support the band program. And so that's a really big chunk, and it helps us to keep our band fees as low as they are, which I think if you look around some other schools in the district, they're pretty reasonable, what we try to do. So that's a huge one. Whenever we're at a performance, we need parents to help drive trucks, move equipment, set up the field. You know, as we start the marching band show, the kids are setting up their own equipment, but there's a lot of other stuff that isn't tied to a particular kid. And so we need people just to help with field setup. We need parents to help at band camp and any events that we have. My gosh, John, you're a band parent. What else do you guys do? It's everything.
Band parents, this is like my 8th year of being a band parent. My baby is now going through the program. But, you know, volunteering to be a band parent, you know, it's one of the last times that we as parents are going to get to hang out with our kids in a setting where we're all working together, you know, and, you know, increasingly they have their own lives and they have their own friends. They go off and do things. This is a great way of being connected with your kid who's in the program. And in my instance, last year we had pretty much the same group of parents moving equipment last year every single time we went out, and it really made what we did efficient. And one of the things this program is definitely starting to do is to take advantage of all these built-in skill sets that the band parents bring to the table. So for instance, if anybody out there knows how to write a grant, we need help getting grant money for new instruments, you know, for all sorts of things. You know, if you know how to do carpentry or if you know how to do any kind of sewing, there is constant work that has to be done. There's maintenance work. And this program, quite frankly, can't operate unless parents are involved. You take a look at all the very successful band programs out there, and you have a very, very powerful and you know, group of parents who are involved and make sure it happens.
The Bands of America, one of their kind of senior officials is a guy named Tim Lautzenheiser, and I once heard him tell a story that he was at a band show in Texas, and there was this parent who was helping to set up the field, and this parent was just really, really nervous. And so he said he went over and said, hey, you know, it's all right, man, you're doing great, you know, calm down, starts asking him about his kid, starts talking to him, and says, well, what do you do? And it turns out the guy was an astronaut. And here he is just nervous about setting the marimba up in the right spot. And Dr. Lautzenheiser goes, but you're an astronaut. Shouldn't you be like preparing for your next mission? And he said, the guy looked him in the eye and he said, no, I'm doing something way more important than that. I'm here supporting my son. And, you know, it's just, we can't do it without the parent support. And you know what, like teenagers, they might roll their eyes at you. There's probably teenagers watching this video right now rolling their eyes at me. But you know what, they appreciate it, and they're going to appreciate it for the rest of their lives. So please consider volunteering. There's all kinds of information about that on the band website if you go to the Parents tab, or talk to somebody who's done it. frequently asked questions. There is a page on our band website with some FAQs. If you'd like to take a look at that, to find it, you go to the band website, uhsband.com, and you're going to see a link there that says join the band. And when you go to that page, you'll see the link for frequently asked questions. So please check some of those out. A lot of the questions you might have already have answers that are up there. And then finally, we're going to get into how to officially sign up. So on that same page, you go to the band website and click join the band. If you are a first-time member, meaning you have not been in the university band before, when you're there, click join the band and fill out the form. And that's going to take you through everything that we need to get you officially signed up. If you're a returning member, you just need to go to the band website and log in and go to the members page, and you're going to see the Marching Band 2020 registration form. Just go ahead and fill that out. It's a quick yes or no, will you be with us, and just double check to make sure all your information is correct. Everybody, once you've done that, you'll see a link to do the $75 deposit on school pay, and once that's done, you are officially signed up. If you're in a special financial situation right now, and I know a lot of people have been affected by shutdowns and things like that, we understand. Please just email me and Mr. Willis, and we will be happy to work something out with you. Don't let financial considerations be the thing that keeps you out of band, while understanding that what we do is not free. We've got to pay for music and instruments and uniforms and equipment. So, you know, we do need the money to keep our program running. We will never charge more than we need to operate the program. Okay, we're not running a profit over here. None of that music goes to me or Mr. All right, not music. None of that money goes to me or Mr. Willis. It all goes directly into the operation of the program and creating great experiences for our students. So the last thing is, once you've seen this video and you've checked out the frequently asked questions on the band website, on Friday, we're going to be doing a live Zoom conference with questions and answers. Since we're kind of anticipating a lot of people will be there, if you have a question, please visit uhsband.com/ask. And there will be a form there to submit the question. You can submit it all the way up until the time the meeting starts, which again will be Friday, May 15th at 7 p.m. And at 6:45 that evening, we're going to go ahead and post a link on the band website to join the Zoom conference. And then we'll be here answering questions that are posted on that website. So if you've got any, just submit them, and we'll be here to answer them for you. Any final thoughts before we tune out?
Very excited for this season.
All right, yeah, me too.
It's gonna be awesome.
Can't
All right,
wait.
thank you for joining us, everybody. And again, if you have any questions, go ahead and get those submitted, and we'll see you on Friday. And everybody else, we'll see you this fall.